So you want to start wholesaling, but you don't know how to pitch your wholesale business where buyers and sellers feel confident in what you're doing. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can pitch a wholesale business to make you feel more comfortable, make buyers and sellers feel more comfortable in you and your business and what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you're new to the channel, I'm Byron, and this is the 9 to 5 wholesaler show. In today's show, we're going to talk about ways that you can pitch a business and make people feel confident in you and what you're doing. I was wholesaling from my desk. I was a teacher, and I was able to wholesale my way to a six-figure business, began to pay off debt. I began to be able to, live life on my own terms. And I was able to do that all within the span of the last 2 years. And if that's something that you're interested in doing, if you resonate with me and the way that I'm doing things, then you should subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be bringing more content to help you along your journey. So let's get right into it. So 5 ways that I pitch my business and 5 ways I would advise anybody to pitch their business in order to make people feel confident. One is you need to pitch a business as a business, right? Your business, in your business, you should have different positions. You should have different people doing things. So pitch a business as a business. At the end of the day, people like to do business with businesses, right? So you want to come off as a business, and ways to come off as a business. One is to have a business name. Two is to actually be registered as a business in your state. So setting up an LLC, which is not difficult. You can go to YouTube, how to set up LLC, and there's people with videos. And I plan on making a video myself about how to set up an LLC in the state of Georgia. And you need to go and get your business domain. That way you can have professional looking email addresses. So those are things that you need to do in order to make your business look like a business. And I have an outline of my business that I'll put in the description below that will help you understand how my six-figure wholesale business is structured. The second thing you need to do is you need to pitch a business as a service provider, right? I pitch my business as a service provider to real estate investors, right? I provide a service to them. What service do I provide? I provide them with a person that's going to go out, find properties that they're interested in, and bring it to them, right? And I charge those investors a fee. So when you explain it to a seller like that, you can be honest and straightforward with them and let them know exactly what's going on. You don't want to go to a seller and tell them that you're purchasing their property when you have no intent to purchase their property, right? I present myself as a service provider. I'm providing service to them, getting them a cash offer. I'm providing a service to the investors by bringing them properties that they might be interested in buying. So when I pitch myself in that manner, one, I'm being honest, I'm having integrity, and I'm able to be transparent in the process of getting people in and out of their property, in the process of getting them offers, and they feel more confident and comfortable with me, and I feel more comfortable and confident in me as well. The third thing you need to do with pitching your business is you need to have different roles, right? And you need to put yourself in a role. Like you may be playing a lot of different roles at the beginning, right? You may be just a sales rep. You may be a purchase manager. You may be a buying specialist. You may be, different roles at the beginning, right? While I'm texting people, while I'm calling people, I'm just a rep, right? Maybe when I'm talking to people and getting them under contract, I am a buying specialist, right? The next person above me may be the purchase specialist, and you'll begin to hire people for these different roles. But at the beginning, you are playing all these roles, and you need to identify with the seller and tell them who you are and what role that you're playing, right? And when you send it to your investors, I call my investors a lot of time underwriters, right? So I'll say, hey, look, I'm going to send this to my underwriters. They're going to determine, this, and that, right? So have roles in your business. And like I said in the description below, you can find where I outline my 100K wholesale business and just the structure of it. So do that, set that up, and let them know what role you're playing. Because at the end of the day, if I came to somebody and said, "Hey, I'm going to buy your property all cash," do I look like somebody? Maybe I would buy their property all cash, but I'm probably not, right? But it's way more believable that I'm a person who is working for a company that does purchase property with cash, right? So let's move on and go to the next thing. The fourth thing that I would do to pitch my business is the fourth thing I would do to pitch my business is to let the seller know that I'm on their side, right? That my job is to help them get a good offer on their property, right? So when I'm pitching my wholesale business, I'm letting the seller know, hey, look, my job is to help you get a good offer, right? I'm not here to lowball you. I'm here to help you get a fair and intelligent offer on your property. And that just makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel more confident in you and what you're doing and how you're going about your business. And then the fifth thing I would do with pitching my business is trying to build that relationship and kind of cultivate some type of friendship with them when I'm talking to the seller, right? You want to identify with things they identify with, whether it's where they live, the things that they like, and stuff like that. Just pitch yourself as a regular person that's working a regular job. If you're doing it from home, you let them know, hey, I'm working from home. This is what I do. They allow us to work from home. I work from home. I have to keep my kids, whatever, right? You position yourself, you pitch yourself as a regular person who's working a job, doing what they're supposed to do, playing their role. Let them know, hey, I'm not the one that's purchased. I don't have all the money. I'm just a guy working for a company. Company name is blank. Bam, 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 and just let them know how things work, have processes and procedures, right? And if you stay tuned to this channel, I will continue to bring you my processes and my procedures and the way that I do things, which allow you to take those things, implement it in your business, and be able to run your business at your 9 to 5 and run your business after you leave your 9 to 5 and run it as a business with honesty and integrity. So those are the 5 keys that I have for pitching your wholesale business. And those 5 things have allowed me to build a 6-figure, now building a 7-figure business. And like I said, free up my time, spend more time with my kids, spend more time with my wife, and just begin to live life on my own terms and not be under the thumb of anybody else. Like I said, if you resonate with that, and if you want to do it the same way that I've done it through wholesaling, then stay tuned to the channel, man, and I'll keep bringing you that kind of content. So at this time, I'm going to answer some questions. Some people have questions. I'm going to go through trying to answer it. Some people in the chat, some people from my G, and I think we may be live on TikTok as well. So let me get set up here. Bam. So if you got questions, go ahead and leave them. If you're watching this after, then let me know in the comments below. If you have questions, if you got questions, let me know in the comments below. And I'll try my best to answer those questions on the next live, if we have time. So if you're up in here, let me know who you are, where you're from, if you're currently wholesaling, if you're doing deals or whatever. I always like to shout out to people that's inside of the live. Hey, how you doing there, man? How you doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? Got Charles coming through. How you doing, Charles? What's up, man? If y'all got questions about wholesaling real estate, go ahead and leave them down below. How you doing? How you doing? So someone on TikTok is saying, how do I start wholesaling when I don't have time? So how do you start wholesaling when you don't have time? The thing that I would say do if you don't have time, I would start by texting, Because a lot of time with texting, you don't have to be right there, talking to people on the phone. You can send out your text messages at one time, and then you could check back periodically. I think, and I text through launch control, and in launch control, you could use your phone, you could use, your computer, and text people, and you can constantly just check it, and you can set appointments to call and talk to those people that's actually interested, right? And that way you can still get your marketing out through texting, and then you could call people on your own time. That allows you to wholesale when you don't have time, right? And then as you grow, you can have virtual assistants that begin to text for you and do those type of things. So that's how I would go about wholesaling when I don't have time. um What's going on, Cass? Cass up in this thing. Cash, you been closing deals, man. So someone said, what's the largest deal you closed? So the largest deal that I've closed wholesaling real estate, I never talked to the seller. I never talked to the buyer. I never, I didn't do anything for this deal. My VA talked to the seller. My acquisition manager put the seller under contract. My VA disposed the property, got the buyer under contract, and they went to closing, right? And I never really dealt with anything. And the largest deal that large deal was $126,000. Crazy stuff that you make that much money and you did not talk to the seller, you didn't talk to the buyer, you didn't see the property or anything like that. So that was a big deal. It was a crazy deal, and I was blessed to do it, man. But it's all about putting together operations, procedures, having people working for you, doing specific jobs, right? So that's what allowed me to do that. So Cass said he closed one Tuesday for 22K. That's big, Cass. Like, dude, those are big. Someone said, how long did it take you? Someone on TikTok said, how long did it take you to get your first deal? It took me about 2 months to get my first deal, right? And during that time, I considered quitting. Like I considered stopping, and I considered stopping before I got my first deal. And I just remember all of these big time wholesalers saying the deals in the follow up, the deals in the follow up, the deals in the follow up. And I began to follow up with people. And when I followed up with a person, they said, I don't want to sell my property. Stop bothering me. And I said, oh, okay, I'll stop bothering you. Let me know if anything changes. And because I think just being nice to people uh, allowed him to respond. And when he responded, he said, but I do know a property you can buy real quick. And when he said that, I said, okay, what's the address? He gave me the address. It was actually a property that belonged to his brother, and his brother's wife had passed, not too long ago, and his brother was looking to move out. And he said he wanted 125 for it. It was worth 140. I ended up, taking a potential buyer out there to the property. That buyer didn't work out. Took another buyer out to the property. That buyer did work out. I found that buyer on Bigger Pockets. I posted a property on Bigger Pockets. He responded, and I ended up making 30K off that deal. It was my first deal closing. It was 30K. It was crazy. I sat in the parking lot and just was sitting there like, dude, I gotta breathe. I gotta make it home. It's like, it was crazy, man. Yeah, it was crazy, Cass. But yeah, man, that was my biggest deal. Well, that was my first deal. That was my first deal. Was the 30K deal, which was crazy. And then I started reading Grant Cardone's book, 10X. It's like, dude, if you read that book, the 10X rule, it just have you just so ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It had me so ready to go to try to 10X what I had already done. So yeah, that's what I did, man. That was my first deal. That's how it all got kicked off for me. So some man, they coming in on TikTok. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. Y'all coming through, liking the vid, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. But yeah, what was that deal that you did that was 22K, Cass? What was that deal at? Somebody else on TikTok said, what is the hardest thing about wholesaling? I would say the hardest thing about wholesaling is just staying consistent when you don't see deals coming, right? It's hard to stay consistent when you don't see deals coming because it's like I'm not getting business. I'm gonna keep working, but I'm not getting any results from working. It's like most people used to going to work and they make money, right? But when you're being an entrepreneur, it doesn't work like that. Like you can work or work or work or work, and you may not get any money, right? But you got to be willing to work and not make money. Work and not make money, right? And keep working, right? Keep working. It's like, you just gotta keep going. And that consistency through the ups and downs is what allows you to be successful in wholesaling, right? It's all about who can stay consistent throughout the ups and downs. Is what's going to determine who's going to be successful. Because I was lucky to get my deal in the first 2 months before I quit. But will you be that lucky, right? You don't know. You have to be willing to stay consistent even though you don't see money coming in. You got to be willing to stay consistent and continue to send out your marketing, right? So that's what I would say is the biggest thing, the most challenging thing when it comes to wholesaling. And I think that's on any level. It doesn't matter if it's big time wholesale, small time wholesalers, doesn't matter, right? So yeah, man, it's crazy. But let me keep looking what we got on here. So Cash said it was in Clearwater, Florida. Dang, Cash, you in Florida? You in 3 markets now. What markets are you in, Cash? See you in Florida. Where else you at? Um, right now I'm in Atlanta mainly, right? But I mess around, I dabble in other cities. And I currently will buy in any other city. If the deal is right, I'll buy to any city and I'll figure out how to find a buyer in that area. But I'm mainly in Atlanta. The next thing I am in is in Nashville, and I'm dabbling around in Jacksonville. So those 3 places is where I'm doing deals, right? I've done some deals in Nashville, I've done some deals in Jacksonville, but mainly in the outskirts of Atlanta, right? So somebody on TikTok said, "How do you know what's the best place to wholesale?" So, how do you know where the best place to wholesale is? The best place I would advise somebody to start wholesaling is in the place that they live, right? Try to wholesale where you live because most likely you know the area, and you're able to drive around and see stuff, and you kind of know where people want to live, where people don't want to live. Where people are trying to move away from, the areas that people are trying to move to. So I would say try to wholesale where you live if possible, right? And then if you don't find anywhere, if you don't feel comfortable wholesaling where you live, then I would say find the nearest metro city, right? Find the nearest metro city and go about 35 minutes outside of that city and find a place along the interstate, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people traveling back and forth, a lot of people being very transient along the interstate. So I would say those, 30 minutes outside of a major metro, along the interstate are places where wholesaling is good. And then you go look who's buying in those areas and then go from there, right? So Cass says he's in Southern California, Florida, and Iowa. Like, dude, really? Like, you doing deals in Iowa, man? It's like, what's really going on in Iowa? I know in Southern California it's crazy, man. Like, you wholesaling Southern California, you getting like 6-figure checks. You know what I'm saying? If you wholesaling in Southern Cal, you picking up 6-figure checks. But in Iowa, like, what's really going on in Iowa, man? I hadn't heard of anybody wholesaling in Iowa, so maybe it's some good stuff out there. But anyway, so somebody on TikTok says, is there a book that you could use to learn how to wholesale? A book that you can use to learn how to wholesale is If You Can't Wholesale After This, I Got Nothing For You. I think it's by Todd Fleming or Travis Fleming or somebody like that. Now, I think I went to high school with Travis Fleming. But anyway, so If you can't wholesale after this, is a great book to use and learn how to wholesale. It teaches you to build a relationship with buyers first, and I think that's why I teach this, because I did it right. Build a relationship with buyers first. This will give you more confidence to approach sellers, to approach buyers, to and you can wholesale with integrity, honesty, all that other good stuff. So yes, if you can't wholesale after this, great book. Go check it out. Got a lot of different strategies, tactics in there, and it'll direct you in the right way to start wholesaling. At least that's what directed me in my journey in wholesaling real estate. So yeah, that's what I would tell people. So what you wholesale? I wholesale houses, right? Wholesale real estate. So wholesaling real estate is where you buy a property from one person and you sell it to another person. Usually it's the same day. Like you buy it the same day, you sell it the same day, but you don't need any money. You don't need any credit. Only thing you need to be is over 17. You don't need a high school diploma. You don't need anything, right? You can, only thing you do is write up a contract with a property owner, let's say for $100,000, and then write up a contract with somebody who want to buy it, let's say for $110,000, and then you send that to the attorney's office, and at the end of it, you'll end up with 10K, right? So that's what you do. And of course, I got more content about, the contracts and everything like that on YouTube. And the way I do it is going to be, it's like it's risk free, right? I wholesale risk free. And I'll tell you more about that. Like wholesale risk free, I mean, like when you write up a contract with a property owner, in my contract, I put things in there that knocks out the risk, right? And so you don't have to worry about putting people under contract and not being able to follow through. So yeah, wholesale houses. Todd Fleming, yep, appreciate that, ATL girl. Todd Fleming is the one who wrote the book. If you can't wholesale after this, I got nothing for you. So yep. Let me see what other questions I miss here. Are you full time in wholesaling? Yes, I am currently full time wholesaling real estate, because I just stopped working my teaching job. I was a teacher. I taught high school. I stopped working my teaching job. Because of my wholesaling business. Like it's just been stupid. I make more money in 1 month of wholesaling than I would a whole year of teaching. So I stopped teaching. Full time wholesale real estate investor. It's been a crazy ride. If you want to go check out my journey, it's documented on YouTube, it's documented on IG, and now I'm documenting more of it on TikTok. So you can check that out too. So let's see. Chelsea Lynn, what's up? Um, Let me see. What's up, Big Money? Thomas up in this thing. How you doing, Thomas? Congratulations, ATL girl. Appreciate that. No doubt. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I was working my teaching job and COVID came around, so it was like, go home. They were still paying you for teaching, even though you was at the house, right? So I started like, well, first I wasn't even looking into wholesale real estate. I actually had a kid, right? And my job called me and was like, hey, look, if you don't come and do this right now, it's COVID and maybe some cuts, and you may be one of the people that end up getting cut. So I was like, when that happened to me and I was about to have a kid, I told him, nah, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to stay right here. I'm about to have a kid. And, I remember just driving to the hospital, just thinking like, oh my God, like that's a threat to take the food out of my kid's mouth. Right. And so I'm like, dude, I'm not going to let that happen, nor would I let that myself get in a situation that happen again. That's when I knew I was going to be done. And then after that, I started looking into wholesaling, and I started and I wasn't going to stop, and I just kept going. So that's kind of how it was, man. That's what happened. So hey, stepdaddy. Cass, my brother in Davenport. I've done 4 deals so far. Oh dang, here in Cal, I've done 6-figure deals. That was a flip. Dang, that's what's up, Cass, man. Cass out there crushing it in Southern Cal, man. But anyways, I'm finna have to get out of here. Speaking of kids, my kids just woke up from a nap. I'm finna get out of here, go take care of my kids. I appreciate y'all joining me. and this 9 to 5 wholesaler show. I'm going to keep bringing these shows to y'all every week. So stay tuned. Check out the show. If you have questions that you want me to answer in the next show, leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Share my stuff on YouTube, IG, TikTok. Share my stuff all over the place. Appreciate y'all coming through. Until next time, peace out.